Kristen Eastman, and this is my informative speech audience. And you'll have to excuse me taking drinks of water throughout my speech because I have a very sore throat. Every year, on the anniversary of September 11th, we see the words, "We remember," plastered all over the internet. But many of us don't remember the exact chain of events, the amount of casualties, or even know anything about the restoration that has been made so far. So I'm here today to give you all a little reminder of what exactly it means to say, "We remember." At 8:46 a.m., on the morning of September 11th, 2001, American Airlines Flight 11 was hijacked by terrorists and crashed into the World Trade Center's South Tower. At this point, it seemed as if a freak accident had occurred. But then 17 minutes later, United Airlines Flight 175 crashed into the neighboring North Tower. And that was when everyone knew that America was under attack. Everyone aboard both flights was killed, as well as hundreds of people inside the towers. Then, at 9:37 a.m., almost an hour after the first attack, hijackers crashed American Airlines Flight 77 into the western facade of the Pentagon, which killed all of 59 aboard, as well as 125 of the Pentagon workers. Meanwhile, in New York City, the South Tower collapsed after burning for less than an hour, adding another 600 workers and first responders to the already long list of casualties. 5 minutes after this collapse, Flight 93, that was headed for Washington, D.C., crashed into a field in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. It is unknown where the hijackers were aiming the plane, but many suspicions include the White House, the Capitol building, and Camp David, which is a presidential retreat area in Maryland. A small group aboard the flight was planning on taking back control over the plane after they learned that it was hijacked. And when the hijackers realized this, they purposely crashed it into a field, killing everyone aboard. Then at 10:15 a.m., the E-ring of the Pentagon collapsed. Following that, the North Tower collapsed after burning for nearly an hour and a half, killing 1,400 people in the building and the surrounding area. Manhattan issued an evacuation notice at 11 a.m. for over 1 million residents. Now it was time for the volunteers, construction professionals, and first responders to search for survivors, now that the American airspace was now cleared of all traffic for the first time in history. That day, about 6,000 total lives were lost because of these horrific attacks. 414 of those lives were emergency workers that paid the ultimate sacrifice while trying to save victims. An estimated 3,000 children lost a parent that day. The 9/11 attacks had an immediate effect on the American people, as police and rescue workers took weeks off from work to travel to New York to pull out bodies from the remnants of the Twin Towers. People all across the nation started donating blood. America stood united and started placing a greater focus on home life and time spent with loved ones. There was also a higher church attendance noticed and an increase in expressions of patriotism, like flying the flag. On October 7th, 2001, just about a month after the attacks, the war in Afghanistan began as the U.S. and several of our allies aimed to dismantle al-Qaeda and remove the Taliban from power. The effects of these terrorist attacks are countless. People suffer from health issues related to debris from falling buildings, as well as a negative economic impact on our nation. And another thing I found interesting was that there was a 20% cutback in all air travel after the hijackings. America had taken a blow, but as then President George Bush so eloquently put it in his speech, terrorist attacks can shake the foundations of our biggest buildings, but they cannot touch the foundation of America. These acts shatter steel, but they cannot dent the steel of American resolve. End quote. The New York skyline is in the process of being made whole again, as World Trade Center 1 has been rebuilt entirely, while construction for 3 more towers remains a work in progress. The damage done to the Pentagon was rebuilt and occupied within 1 year of the attacks. And every year, on the anniversary of September 11th, the names of the victims are read aloud with somber music in the background in New York City. The Pentagon hosts a memorial service that the President attends, while the First Lady attends smaller services in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. This day is also known as Patriot Day, as then President Bush established in honor of the victims. So this year, when we see the words, "We remember," let's take a moment to let these memories flood our senses and truly appreciate the men and women who grieve for their lost ones, as well as those who have fought to protect this soil from another brutal attack. May God bless America. Thank you.
I love that. That makes me cry.
Oh, Grandma.
It was all